Welcome back to the channel, valuable coins aged passed down from your grandparents. You come across a familiar sight, the classic Lincoln Wheat Penny, and at first glance, it seems ordinary. But for those who know the value of history and rarity, a 1956 Lincoln Wheat Penny with a mint mark could be much more than simple pocket change. These small copper coins, so familiar and yet so often overlooked, carry a story, a legacy, and in some cases, a fortune waiting to be discovered. The 1956 wheat penny was minted during a fascinating era of American history. Post-war optimism was in the air, families were growing, and the economy was thriving. The Lincoln penny, first introduced in 1909 to commemorate the centennial of Abraham Lincoln's birth, had become a symbol not just of currency, but of enduring American heritage. On the obverse, Lincoln's dignified portrait gazes forward, every detail of his hair, coat, and facial features telling a story of precision and craftsmanship. The reverse, with the iconic wheat ears embracing the words, 1 cent, and United States of America, represents the promise and productivity of a nation striving for growth. Though millions of these pennies were minted, only a fraction have survived in excellent condition. Many were used daily, passing from hand to hand, rubbing against other coins, tucked into pockets, dropped, or lost. Yet, some were set aside, intentionally or by accident, and have remained untouched for decades. It's these uncirculated specimens, still retaining their original red luster, that excite collectors the most. The slightest scratch, discoloration, or dent can reduce a coin's value, making pristine examples increasingly rare and highly sought after. Mint marks play a crucial role in a coin's desirability and value. The 1956 penny was produced at multiple mints: Philadelphia, which left no mark, Denver with a D, and San Francisco with an S. Each mint had its own quirks, and collectors carefully study them to identify the sharpest strikes, the fullest details, and the most flawless examples. Denver and San Francisco pennies, especially those with uncirculated luster, often command higher attention in the numismatic world. Even small differences in the shape of letters, the spacing of the wheat stalks, or the relief on Lincoln's bust can make a significant difference when determining a coin's value. Beyond condition and mint marks, some 1956 pennies feature unique errors and varieties that elevate them from collectible to extraordinary. Repunched mint marks, slight doubling of the date or letters, off-center strikes, and planchet flaws can transform an otherwise ordinary penny into a rare numismatic gem. These accidental anomalies, once overlooked, are now coveted by collectors who recognize their rarity and the story behind their creation. Every error tells a tale of the minting process and the hands that shaped history. Even circulated pennies hold lessons for collectors. While worn examples may not reach astronomical prices, they provide insight into everyday life in 1956. Each mark and scratch carries a history of commerce, from candy purchases to bus fare, from small savings to family collections. But when one of these coins survives untouched, with full red color and no blemishes, it becomes a bridge connecting us to the past in a tangible, powerful way. Collectors and dealers alike understand that the thrill of finding a coin in exceptional condition is unmatched. Estate sales, old coin folders, forgotten rolls from decades past, and even jarred collections from grandparents often hold treasures. A sharp eye, a magnifying glass, and a little patience can turn a mundane search into a life-changing discovery. Professional grading services assess the minutest details, verifying authenticity, condition, luster, and strike quality. Coins that achieve the highest grades become stars at auctions, drawing competitive bidding from collectors around the world who understand their rarity and historical significance. The 1956 Lincoln Wheat Penny is not just a coin, it is a piece of history, a symbol of the nation's resilience and pride, and for those lucky enough to find one in pristine condition, it is also a potential treasure. Every detail matters: the sharpness of Lincoln's features, the clarity of the wheat ears, the absence of blemishes, and the original coloration. Preservation is key, and those who have maintained their coins carefully over decades may not realize the value they are holding. For the passionate coin collector, the story doesn't end with identification. It continues with research, verification, and understanding the market. Knowledge of minting history, production numbers, grading standards, and collector demand can all help reveal the true potential of a coin. A coin that might appear ordinary to the untrained eye could be worth far more than expected if it has survived in extraordinary condition. Most of the coins are common, some a little worn, but then your eyes catch a glimpse of a copper penny that looks almost untouched. On closer inspection, it's a 1954 Lincoln Wheat penny with a mint mark. At first glance, it may seem like any other penny, but for collectors and coin enthusiasts, this small piece of metal can hold a value far beyond its face. It's more than just currency, it's a slice of history, a snapshot of post-war America, and in the right condition, a true collector's treasure. The year 1954 represents an interesting time in American history. The country was enjoying post-World War II prosperity, families were growing, cities were expanding, and coins like the Lincoln Wheat penny were still a staple of everyday life. Abraham Lincoln's image on the obverse of the coin served as a familiar symbol of integrity and leadership, while the reverse, with its two wheat stalks framing the words, 1 cent and United States of America, reflected the productivity and promise of the nation. These pennies were meant to be used, passed from hand to hand, yet the ones that survived untouched today are priceless windows into the past. While millions of pennies were produced in 1954, only a small fraction remain in top condition. The vast majority circulated for decades, collecting scratches, nicks, and discoloration along the way. Yet, some lucky specimens were tucked away in coin albums, drawers, and hidden jars, never exposed to the wear and tear of daily life. Coins that retain their original red copper luster, sharp detail, and flawless surfaces are rare and highly prized by collectors. Even a tiny scratch or a small dent can significantly reduce a penny's value, making pristine examples increasingly difficult to find. Mint marks are crucial when determining a coin's rarity and worth. The 1954 penny was struck at 3 mints, Philadelphia, which carries no mint mark, Denver, identified by AD, and San Francisco, marked with an S. Each mint produced subtle differences, and collectors study every line, ridge, and letter to identify the most valuable examples. A perfectly struck penny from Denver or San Francisco in uncirculated condition can bring far more attention than one from Philadelphia simply because of minting variations and survival rates. Even the tiniest details, such as the definition of Lincoln's cheekbone or the crispness of the wheat stalks, can set a coin apart. Errors and varieties make certain pennies even more desirable. Some 1954 wheat pennies show repunched mint marks, off-center strikes, weak strikes, or doubling on the date and lettering. These imperfections, once considered mistakes, are now coveted by collectors for their uniqueness. A subtle misalignment or tiny anomaly can turn an otherwise common penny into a rare numismatic gem. Every error tells a story about the minting process, the machinery, and the era in which the coin was produced. The condition of a coin is often what determines its ultimate value. A circulated penny with worn edges and dull surfaces may hold sentimental value, but a penny that looks almost as it did the day it was minted can command a price that surprises most people. Coins with original red luster, no blemishes, full strike details, and perfectly preserved rims are the ones that stand out at auctions and among serious collectors. Proof coins and high-grade uncirculated examples often generate intense competition, and a single rare penny can become the centerpiece of a collection. Many of the most exciting discoveries come from unexpected places. Estate sales, old coin rolls, long-forgotten collections, and hand-me-down drawers have all yielded incredible finds. A collector might pick up a coin simply out of curiosity, only to realize, after careful inspection, that they have something extraordinary. Magnification often reveals details invisible to the naked eye, subtle doubling, near-perfect strike lines, or faint anomalies that make the coin one of a kind. Coins that survive in such condition become highly sought after because they combine history, rarity, and beauty in a tangible form. The 1954 Lincoln Wheat penny is more than a piece of copper, it's a connection to the past. It reminds us of the everyday life of 1950s America, of people using coins for simple purchases while unwittingly creating a legacy that would endure for decades. Every line, every mark, every detail on the coin tells a story, and those that survived in exceptional condition are like time capsules, holding the promise of history, beauty, and even wealth for those who recognize their value. Today, most people, it might seem like a simple cent, just another piece of copper in circulation. But for collectors and coin enthusiasts, this little coin is so much more than its face value. It's a connection to history, a snapshot of post-war America, and in the right condition, a potential treasure worth far more than most can imagine. The year 1947 was a significant time in American history. The nation was rebuilding and reshaping itself after the challenges of World War II. Families were growing, industries were expanding, and coins like the Lincoln Wheat Penny were still an integral part of daily life. Abraham Lincoln's portrait on the obverse served as a symbol of integrity and perseverance, a reminder of leadership through difficult times. On the reverse, the two wheat stalks framing the words, 1 cent and United States of America, represented the productivity, resilience, and promise of a nation moving forward. Though these pennies were made to be used, the ones that survived in pristine condition are highly sought after by collectors today. While millions of pennies were minted in 1947, only a small fraction have survived without wear, scratches, or discoloration. Most circulated extensively, rubbing against other coins, slipping from pockets, and collecting marks along the way. Yet a lucky few were tucked away in albums, drawers, or envelopes and have remained untouched for decades. Coins that retain their original red copper luster, crisp details, and flawless surfaces are exceedingly rare, and these are the coins that draw the most attention from collectors and auction houses alike. Mint marks are one of the most important factors in determining a penny's rarity and value. The 1947 Lincoln Wheat Penny was struck at 3 mints, Philadelphia, which carries no mint mark, Denver, marked with AD, and San Francisco, marked with an S. Each mint produced subtle variations, and collectors scrutinized these details closely. A 1947 penny from Denver or San Francisco in exceptional condition is often more valuable than a Philadelphia coin simply due to survival rates and collector demand. Even the tiniest differences in the relief of Lincoln's features, the clarity of the lettering, or the detail in the wheat stalks can distinguish a common coin from an extraordinary one. Errors and varieties make certain 1947 pennies even more desirable. Some display repunched mint marks, slight doubling of the date or letters, off-center strikes, or planchet flaws. These accidental quirks, once considered mistakes, are now prized by collectors because they make each coin unique. Even the smallest anomaly can transform a seemingly ordinary penny into a numismatic treasure, a coin that collectors dream of adding to their collections. Condition is often the defining factor in a coin's value. Circulated pennies with wear and dull surfaces hold interest mostly for historical purposes, but uncirculated pennies with full red luster, sharp strike details, and flawless fields command far higher prices. Proof coins, specially preserved specimens, or coins graded at the highest levels can create intense competition among collectors, driving auction prices to staggering heights. A 1947 Lincoln Wheat Penny in pristine condition is a perfect example of how a small coin can carry immense value, especially when combined with a rare mint mark or unique features. Many of the most exciting finds come from unexpected places. Estate sales, old coin rolls, inherited collections, and forgotten drawers have all yielded remarkable discoveries. A collector might pick up a coin on a whim, only to realize after careful inspection that it is an extraordinary find. Magnification often reveals details invisible to the naked eye, subtle doubling, deep strike lines, or slight anomalies in the mint mark that make the coin rare. Coins that survive in such condition are highly prized because they combine history, beauty, and rarity all in one small piece of copper. The 1947 Lincoln Wheat Penny is more than just a coin, it is a tangible connection to post-war America, a symbol of resilience and heritage, and for those fortunate enough to find one in exceptional condition, a piece of potential fortune. Every line, every mark, every detail on the coin tells a story, and those that have survived untouched are like time capsules bridging the past and the present. Today, of copper is far more than its face value. It is a piece of history, a tangible connection to a time long past, and in the right condition, a coin that can command remarkable value and admiration. The 1940 Lincoln Wheat Penny represents an era when America was facing economic challenges yet showing resilience and hope. It was a time of recovery from the Great Depression, with people striving to rebuild their lives, businesses growing slowly but surely, and communities holding on to optimism. Abraham Lincoln's profile on the obverse of the coin reminds us of leadership and perseverance, qualities that Americans held dear. On the reverse, the wheat stalks that frame 1 cent and United States of America symbolize prosperity, growth, and the agricultural foundation of the nation. These pennies were used every day, passing from hand to hand in pockets, purses, and cash registers, making the survival of flawless specimens over 80 years later an extraordinary feat. Millions of pennies were minted in 1940, but only a fraction have survived in exceptional condition. The majority circulated heavily, acquiring scratches, nicks, discoloration, and worn surfaces over time. Yet, some were carefully preserved, tucked into albums, envelopes, or jars, remaining untouched and retaining their original red copper luster. These rare, uncirculated examples are highly sought after by collectors and can command significant prices in the numismatic market. Even the slightest imperfection can affect a coin's value, so coins that have survived in near-perfect condition are highly prized. The mint mark is a crucial element in determining a penny's rarity and worth. The 1940 penny was struck at the Philadelphia Mint with no mint mark, the Denver Mint marked with AD, and the San Francisco Mint with an S. Each mint produced subtle variations in striking and detail, and collectors scrutinize every aspect carefully. A coin from Denver or San Francisco in uncirculated condition can be far more valuable than one from Philadelphia due to survival rates and collector demand. Even small differences in the relief of Lincoln's portrait, the lettering, or the wheat stalks can elevate a coin from common to exceptional. Errors and unique varieties make certain 1940 pennies even more coveted. Some coins display repunched mint marks, slight doubling of the date or letters, off-center strikes, or minor planchet flaws. These anomalies, once considered mistakes, are now highly prized because they create uniqueness and rarity. Even subtle variations can transform a seemingly ordinary penny into a highly collectible gem, sought after by serious numismatists around the world. Condition plays a critical role in a coin's value. Circulated pennies with worn edges and dull surfaces are interesting for historical context, but uncirculated coins with full red color, sharp strike details, and pristine surfaces are the ones that command attention and high prices. Proof coins and professionally graded uncirculated specimens, especially those with strong luster and eye appeal, often become the highlight of coin auctions. A 1940 Lincoln Wheat Penny in exceptional condition is more than just a coin. It is a tangible connection to history and a symbol of careful preservation across decades. Some of the most exciting finds occur in unexpected places. Old coin folders, estate sales, forgotten collections, and even loose change can hold remarkable examples of the 1940 penny. A collector might pick up a coin without realizing its significance, only to discover upon closer inspection that it is a rare, high-grade specimen. Magnification can reveal subtle details invisible to the naked eye, slight doubling, perfectly struck letters, or a deeply defined wheat stalk design. These small details can transform an ordinary-looking penny into a coin worth serious money. The 1940 Lincoln Wheat Penny is not just currency, it is a piece of history. It represents a time of resilience, perseverance, and hope in America. It is a coin that connects us to the past, allowing us to hold history in the palm of our hand. Every detail, every line, every wheat stalk tells a story, and coins that have survived uncirculated for over 80 years are truly remarkable. Today, other penny, a small, familiar piece of copper. But for collectors and coin enthusiasts, this unassuming coin is far more than pocket change. It carries history, craftsmanship, and in rare instances, remarkable value. The 1958 Lincoln Wheat Penny represents a time when America was experiencing post-war growth, a period marked by optimism, industry, and the everyday hustle of a nation moving forward. Abraham Lincoln's portrait on the obverse of the coin serves as a timeless reminder of leadership and integrity. Every detail of his facial features, hair, and coat is a testament to careful minting and artistry. On the reverse, the wheat stalks framing 1 cent and United States of America reflect both the agricultural foundation of the nation and its promise of prosperity. These pennies were made to be used, passed from hand to hand in commerce, yet the ones that survived in near-perfect condition today are exceptionally rare. Each one is a tiny time capsule, preserving a moment from 1958 when Americans were living through an era of economic expansion and cultural growth. Millions of pennies were minted in 1958, but only a small fraction have survived without wear, scratches, or discoloration. Most circulated heavily, rubbing against other coins and picking up marks from countless transactions. Yet some were tucked away, perhaps in albums, drawers, or coin rolls, remaining untouched for decades. Coins that maintain their original red copper luster, sharp strike details, and flawless surfaces are highly prized by collectors, and the rarity of such specimens contributes significantly to their market value. Even minor imperfections can reduce a coin's worth, making pristine examples particularly sought after. Mint marks play a critical role in the value of a coin. The 1958 penny was minted in Philadelphia with no mint mark, in Denver with a D, and in San Francisco with an S. Each mint had subtle differences in striking and detail, which collectors carefully examine. A 1958 penny from Denver or San Francisco in uncirculated condition often commands higher interest due to the lower survival rate and collector demand. Even small differences, such as the relief of Lincoln's features, the crispness of the lettering, or the detail in the wheat stalks, can elevate a coin from common to exceptional. Errors and unique varieties make certain 1958 pennies even more desirable. Some coins display repunched mint marks, slight doubling of the date or letters, off-center strikes, or planchet flaws. Once considered mistakes, these anomalies are now highly prized for their uniqueness and rarity. Collectors eagerly seek out these unusual examples, understanding that even the smallest imperfection can dramatically increase a coin's value. Condition is everything when it comes to valuation. A circulated penny with wear and dull surfaces offers historical interest but limited monetary value. A coin that retains its original luster, with sharp strike details, clear lettering, and pristine fields, is far more appealing. Proof coins, specially preserved examples, or coins graded at the highest levels often become the centerpiece of collections and attract intense competition at auctions. A 1958 Lincoln Wheat Penny in exceptional condition is not just a coin, it is a piece of history and a rare example of careful preservation across decades. Some of the most exciting coin discoveries come from unexpected places. Forgotten coin folders, old coin rolls, estate sales, and hand-me-down collections have all yielded rare finds. Collectors often find extraordinary coins when they least expect it, discovering subtle features that distinguish a standard penny from a numismatic gem. Magnification often reveals details invisible to the naked eye, slight doubling, deeply defined letters, or fully struck wheat ears that set a coin apart from its peers. These rare features make a 1958 Lincoln Wheat Penny with a mint mark highly coveted among collectors worldwide. The 1958 Lincoln Wheat Penny is more than just currency, it is a tangible piece of mid-20th century American history. It reflects the resilience, growth, and optimism of the era, while also serving as a testament to meticulous minting practices. Every line, every detail, and every preserved aspect of the coin tells a story, connecting modern collectors to a time when life moved at a different pace. Yet small coins like this played an essential role in everyday transactions. If you happen to have a 1958 Lincoln Wheat Penny with a mint mark tucked away in your collection, take a closer look. Inspect the mint mark, evaluate the strike and details, and handle the coin carefully to preserve its condition. What may appear to be a simple penny could be an extraordinary find, a piece of history, and even a valuable collectible. The finest 1958 Lincoln Wheat Pennies with a mint mark have reached an astonishing $89,000 in words at the end.